Ichiyo's Japanese online lesson.
皆さん、こんにちは。日本語を教えている一葉です。
Firstly, we'll show you English conversations.
Conversation 1.
Can you see the tower over there?
No, I can't. Your eyesight is incredible.
Conversation 2.
Is this your ballpoint pen?
No, it's Daniel's.
In the example conversations, they said the words, you, and, your. If you're a native English speaker, I think that you use, you, your, and, yours, frequently. You in Japanese is
あなた。あなた。
your or yours is
あなたの。あなたの。
We often hear non-native Japanese learners use these words. However, we don't recommend using them. Today, we'll teach you the reason. Please keep watching this video to avoid using wrong and rude Japanese.
今日のレッスンを始めましょう。
Key point 1.
This is the first key point.
Using あなた or あなたの is a bit rude.
Many non-native learners often use these words. They aren't aware of this point. We often receive this comment on our channel.
あなたの動画は役に立ちます。コメントありがとうございます。
This is grammatically correct. However, this comment is a bit rude.
This is because あなたの is used.
Key point 2.
As we hear the word あなた, we feel that the speaker looks down on us.
Therefore, the comment gives us the impression that the writer looks down on Ichiyo. As we know, Japanese learners commonly make this mistake. When we receive wrong Japanese comments, we think we can correct them if the writers join our private lessons or daily Japanese mail support.
Key point 3.
This is the next key point.
We call the person's name instead of あなた.
Now, we'll correct this wrong comment. In this case, your means Ichiyo's. The correct and natural comment is
一葉先生の動画は役に立ちます。一葉先生の動画は役に立ちます。
The literal translation is Ichiyo sensei's video is useful.
先生。
It means teacher. It's an honorific word added after a teacher's name when we address them.
I'm a Japanese teacher, so my students call me Ichiyo sensei. Therefore, calling me as Ichiyo sensei is natural. Please use the person's name instead of あなた.
Please look at the situation again. Jeff said to Randy,
Can you see the tower over there?
The literal translation in Japanese is
あなたは向こうにあるタワーが見えますか?
This is grammatically correct. However, if Jeff says the Japanese quote, it indicates that Jeff looks down on Randy. This is because Jeff used the rude word.
あなた、
Let's correct this phrase. In this situation, you is Randy. Randy in Japanese is
ランディ。ランディ、
We also call his name as
ランディさん。ランディさん。
This is the polite form. Therefore, the correct Japanese is
ランディさんは向こうにあるタワーが見えますか？ランディさんは向こうにあるタワーが見えますか？
The literal English translation is Can Randy see the tower over there? We don't use you in Japanese. Please keep in mind that we use the person's name instead of you. How to call someone when we don't know their name. Do you ever wonder about it? Now, we'll explain how to call others when we don't know their names.
Situation 1.
Alexei is a tourist in Japan. He talked to a stranger. He wanted to say,
Excuse me. Do you know where this place is?
the literal Japanese translation is,
すみません。あなたはここがどこかわかりますか？ You is あなた in Japanese, but I thought that we should use the person's name instead of using あなた。
However, he didn't know her name. We'll show you the natural phrase in this case.
あなたは is the subject in this sentence.
When we know the subject, we often omit saying it.
Of course, using あなたは becomes rude.
We avoid and omit saying it.
Key point 4.
This is the key point.
We omit and avoid using the subject あなたは or あなたが。
Situation 2.
The next situation is in a restaurant. They don't know each other's names. The customer calls the server as
店員さん。店員さん。店員。
It means store clerk, store employee, sales clerk, or shop assistant.
店員さん。
This is the polite form. When we call a clerk, we often say,
店員さん。
on the other hand, the server calls the customer as
お客様。お客様。客。
it means customer.
客。
An employee or a clerk calls a customer as
お客様。
It's the most polite way of addressing a customer. Please use these words when you don't know the person's name at a shop or store.
Situation 3.
The next situation is in a clinic. The patient doesn't know the names of the doctor and the nurse. He calls the doctor as
先生。
it means teacher, but we also use it when calling a doctor. He calls the nurse as
看護師さん。看護師さん。
看護師、
It means nurse.
看護師、看護師、
When we call a nurse, we often say,
看護師さん、
this is the polite form.
看護師さん、看護師さん、
Situation 4.
We'll show you the next situation. The man on the left is a taxi customer. They don't know each other's names. The customer calls the taxi driver as,
運転手さん。運転手さん。運転手。
it means driver.
運転手。
When we call a driver, we often say,
運転手さん。運転手さん。
On the other hand, do you remember how the driver calls the customer? The driver calls him as,
お客様。お客様。
the driver also calls him as,
お客さん。お客さん。However, お客様 is more polite than お客さん。
Key point 5.
this is the key point. When we don't know the person's name, we often call them using this form. Specific job name. Plus.
3.
There are a lot of job names, so we can't teach all of them in this video. If you want to learn more, please join our private lesson or the daily Japanese mail support service.
Exception.
In key point 1, we taught that
Using あなた or あなたの is a bit rude.
however, there are exceptions. Now, we'll introduce one of them. Please watch this video.
動画のご視聴ありがとうございました。ネイティブでない日本語学習者の日本語を見ていると、残念ながら失礼な日本語を使っている方が本当に多いです。失礼な日本語、間違えてる日本語を使わないように、我々にあなたの日本語を見せてください。Did you hear me say あなたの in the video? あなたの日本語を見せてください。
Ichiyo used the word.
あなたの。
It means your. In this case, using it is not rude.
This is because あなたの is not intended for a specific person.
Key point 6.
This is today's last key point.
We can use あなた or あなたの when we call a non-specific person.
In the video, Ichiyo was talking to a non-specific person.
Therefore, I used あなたの。Thank you for watching this video.
Today, we focused on using you in Japanese. Even after watching this video, we don't think you can use natural Japanese. The Japanese language is very complicated and has many exceptions. We have seen a lot of Japanese learners who use rude Japanese even though they go to language schools. One of the reasons is that they don't have a teacher who checks their Japanese privately and daily. We want learners to have correct Japanese skills. Therefore, we offer private lessons and daily Japanese mail support. If you become a member of our daily Japanese mail support, we can check your Japanese every day. Daily Japanese mail support is one of our services where we check and correct your Japanese using email. The price is 5,000 Japanese yen for 30 days. That equates roughly to $37 and 80 cents, 54 Australian dollars and 80 cents, or 35 euros. Please check the rate in your local currency before making any purchases. If you want to know more about the details, please check out our website. The link is in the description of this video.
それではまた次の動画でお会いしましょう。さようなら。